Since previously we mentioned that the last section of this quarter deals with Philippians and Colossians, here would seem to be a good time for a map. The city of Philippi is in the region of Macedonia, modern-day Greece, while Colossae was in Western Asia, the modern-day country of Turkey. Now, this lesson has some single verses which provide practical spiritual help. Consider having a member of the class share a 5-minute devotional on one of them. But of course, you need to ask them in advance. You know, there are some people that think 5 minutes is 10 minutes. And we need to make sure that we keep it at the 5-minute. But for example, how about Philippians 3:10, which emphasizes knowing Christ? Or Philippians 3:14, pressing toward Christ. Or Philippians 4:13, Christ's strengthening. Or what about Philippians 4:19, God supplies needs? Then consider this as the encourage part of the lesson. Be sure to leave sufficient time at the end for the presenter. I'm going to suggest that 2 to 3 minutes might be sufficient because, you know, people watch their clocks, their watches, their phones. They know when the time is to end. But at the same time, you want to give sufficient time for the presenter who has done their homework. I like 5 minutes, but hey, some people can say an awful lot in 3 minutes. Now for the interest or information part of this lesson. Notice in verse 2, Paul refers or uses the term dogs. Now this isn't our usual 21st century definition. We think of dogs as domesticated canines who are used for work or for pets. But dog was a term of reproach for the Jews and the Greeks. Dogs of this first century were half-wild animals. They prowled some of the eastern cities as packs. Often these packs had their own streets. They were scavengers, feeding on the filth of garbage. Often they would fight between the packs and even attack individuals who were walking on the streets. The Jews generally considered them as the most despised, shameless, and miserable creatures. This is how the Apostle Paul considered the Judaizers who taught that you have to keep the law first in order to become a believer. They totally overlooked what Christ did for us.